Yeah, he gave me goosebumps.
Oh!
Oh my god.
He was so good.
Who knew Fury was such a cat lover?
Right? Where'd that come from?
Was a cat lover. There are going to be spoilers on this show, as always.
What show is it?
I don't know. I feel like I used to have a pod here. It's coming back to me.
He's remembering.
Oh my god. I used to be a podcaster on a show called Screen Fix.
What?
This is Screen Fix. Hello and welcome to Screen Fix, the show where we will fix a recent film. I am host JC. With me as always, co-host that carries the show, Lady-Wan. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And we have with us today, Mustachio. Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
In case you didn't notice from the opening,
And like the episode name?
and the episode name that you clicked on. You could have been listening to one and you just went right into this one.
Yeah, you gotta use that cue.
In case you have not figured it out, this week we will be fixing Captain Marvel.
Yay!
Woo!
Ladies!
Don't do that.
So, Skrulls are the bad guys. And you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Your life began the day it nearly ended. We found you with no memory. We made you one of us. So you could live longer, stronger, superior. You were reborn.
I keep having these memories. Something in my past is the key to all of this.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Would you like to know what you really are?
I think I had a life here. What aren't you telling me?
You've come a long way. But you're not as strong as you think. This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
Aren't you the cutest little thing? Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's you? I'll be back.
Okay, Captain Marvel. This is Marvel's
21st.
21st movie, and the first to star a female superhero lead character, and it's also the first one to be directed or co-directed by a female, Anna Boden, and it was co-directed with her husband, Ryan Fleck. They were known mostly for indie films, in particular the film
Half Nelson and Sugar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those goodies.
Mississippi Grind with Ben Mendelsohn.
Mustachio's got the indie knowledge. Always.
Hey,
Always.
I'm the host here. I'm the host here. Just kidding. So yeah, and it was written by Anna Boden, Ryan Fleck, as well as Geneva Robertson Dworet, who wrote Tomb Raider, which we did fix on this show as well. Go check it out. There's also an additional story credit to Nicole Perlman, who wrote Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as Meg LaFavre, who was one of the screenwriters for Inside Out. In this movie starring Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Jude Law, Annette Bening, Lashana Lynch, Gemma Chan, Clark Gregg, Jaimin Hansu,
So many.
Lee Pace,
The Pie Maker.
the Pie Maker.
From Pushing Daisies.
Oh, okay. The Pie Maker from Pushing Daisies, and many, many others. And this is based on not the older comics in which Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel appear, but the latest run
Yeah, this is Kelly Sue DeConnick's version of like 2012 and after. So we don't have the hypersexualized Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, all that.
The actual character of Carol Danvers has gone through many different iterations throughout her history in Marvel Comics.
Before she was just Miss Marvel, she was binary, Warbird, then she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. And so it's just, it speeds over a lot of generations of this type of character.
So they're giving him the good Captain Marvel. How are audience receiving this? Why don't you give us the fresh hot stats? Lady-Wan, go.
This is challenging. On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has had a trying experience.
Really?
The percentages have been all over the place. As of this recording, it's 80% fresh from critics.
Harsh.
It's 57% from audiences, and it has been as low as 30 because before this movie came out, the site was targeted with a ton of negative reviews before people had actually seen it, and they had to remove a bunch. They said it was a bug. They said it was a flaw in their system. But yeah, people
bug.
like firebombed the shit out of this movie on Rotten Tomatoes. They're a bunch of dicks.
So this all comes from an interview that Brie Larson had with Marie Claire. She said, quote, "About a year ago, I started paying attention to what my press days looked like and the critics reviewing movies, and I noticed it appeared to be overwhelmingly white male. So I spoke to Dr. Stacy Smith at the USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, who put together a study to confirm that. Moving forward, I decided to make sure my press days were more inclusive. After speaking with you, the film critic, Valerie Complex, and a few other women of color, it sounded like across the board they weren't getting the same opportunities as others. When I talked to the facilities that weren't providing it, they all had different excuses." So basically, she was calling for expanded access to opportunities for women and people of color in a space that's normally dominated by white men. So, of course, angry white males with nothing better to do took this as an insult and a slight and are negatively affecting the audience review.
Yeah. So the audience score number is to be ignored. And this is actually the only Marvel movie that dips below 70% as an audience score. It is the lowest by far. It is the only one that is technically negative.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's a real bummer because I personally loved it.
Yeah, and it's so different. Like, it tries so many new things.
But the critics percentage is probably more relevant. It is at 80%, and it's sitting at 14th in all of the MCU movies, right between Ant-Man and Iron Man 3.
The critics like it. Most people like it unless you're an old,
men's
crusty
rights
curmudgeon.
activist.
Yeah.
Just a douche.
Aside from tomatoes, are people throwing down their cash on it?
Yeah, they are. So opening weekend is projected right now at $153 million in the U.S. and another $455 million overseas, which is the 7th highest opening weekend for a Marvel movie, right between Iron Man 3 and Guardians 2. And I was just looking over what that list is, that top 7. And outside of Iron Man 3 and Captain America Civil War, which I will argue all day is an Avengers movie, they're all straight up Avengers movies. And Black Panther. And Iron Man 3 was a year after Avengers. So everybody was just like desperate. So they all went to see Iron Man 3, even though it's not that great, guys. It's not that great. But yeah, so it's doing really well, and they did some polling, and it shows that the audience breakdown is 55% male and 45% female, which is the lowest gender split for an MCU movie, though it is tied with both Black Panther and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those movies also treat their female characters like actual people, so hooray!
Not like in Iron Man 2.
Oh my god, Iron Man 2.
When Tony Stark turns to Pepper Potts when he looks at Scarlett Johansson.
Will that be all, Mr. Stark? Yes, that will be all, Miss Rushman. Thank you very much.
I want one.
No.
Ugh, it's so gross.
Like, that stuff you say, like, in your head.
He's already a hero at this point.
And, like, you feel bad, kind of, for even thinking it. But
right? This isn't, like, pre-Iron Man Tony Stark is a bad person. This is Iron Man, our hero. Our hero said, I want one, about a woman. Ugh. Ugh. God.
Yeah. This is the guy who's rotting on a ship by himself close to Titan, and we're sad for him. We've come a long way.
He's on timeout.
he's definitely hitting on Nebula up there.
Yeah, I think she left because she couldn't put up with his bullshit.
She bounced.
All right, Captain Marvel. I saw it first from row 2 and staring up at it with my neck craned. eating overpriced burger sliders.
Ew.
I was just not in a good mood at all, and I had a bad opinion of it. Went back and saw it again, IMAX, from a good row, right in the middle. Still can't 100% get behind it. I think it's a decent movie. I definitely liked it much better the second time. Crowd loved it. The second time I was in a theater with a lot of kids, so it was interesting to get the kids' reaction. Next to some kids, and then two kind of raucous adult males next to me that were enjoying it as much as the kids, which is interesting. But how was Captain Marvel for you guys?
I saw it twice as well. I knew I was going to see it twice going into the weekend. So the first time I saw it was Friday night. I just kind of let it all happen. And then Saturday I went back kind of like with a more critical eye, like ready to like get some fixes and really take it all in. Plus it was fun to like anticipate the audience reactions. Both times were IMAX, both times were packed house and tons of audience reactions, which was really fun. Unfortunately though, both times there was a guy next to me talking throughout the movie, telling the girl he was with various plot points that we can all see, dude. We're all here watching this movie. Why don't you shut up?
Don't be that guy. Don't be like...
Yeah.
The whole crowd doesn't need to be nerdsplained to, buddy.
It was so stupid.
I feel like that guy's not just talking to whoever's next to him, trying to let everyone around him hear so they can hear just how smart he is.
Yeah. And he doesn't realize that what everyone around him is realizing is like what a douchebag he is, not how smart he is.
Yeah.
Saturday night, the guy next to me was even wrong about some stuff. And I just wanted to look over and be like, no, that's not right. Pay attention. But again, I will not talk during a movie. If you try and ask me a question during the movie, I will just go, I'll tell you later. And I will not answer it. It doesn't matter what it is. I will not talk during a movie.
Right?
It makes me so angry.
I go into like weird, like invisible cloak mode. Where if someone like that I'm with is trying to ask me, I'm like,
Yeah, it's like, wait, you can't talk to me now? Don't you see I'm in a theater?
Yeah, for me, it was a great viewing experience. I really liked it. I was actually sitting next to some young people that didn't really get some of the jokes for the 90s, being like the loading speed and the internet cafe where she's just kind of punching away at a computer. I remember feeling like they have no idea what we're looking at.
Did everyone at your guys' theater, did everyone applaud during the opening credits where it's just like a montage of Stan Lee cameos? Did everyone clap for that?
A lot of people clapped.
When the words came up that said, thank you, Stan.
Thank you, Stan. Missing a comma.
It was missing a comma.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, comma, Stan.
Yeah. Punctuation, come on.
Yeah, there was clapping for that, and that was very, very sweet. And his cameo was amazing when he's on the bus reading the Mallrats script.
I watched Mallrats last night because of it.
It's so good.
I had to.
Just a big smile of
That was
his.
definitely one of the best Stan Lee cameos I had seen. And I read that Kevin Smith became a blubbering, crying fool during that part. So that was also sweet. So
Yeah.
okay, before we get into this movie, let's go ahead and really quick run down plot summary. This quick and dirty, gross.
You can't say that.
Considering where this is coming from. Our plot summary comes from Movie Pooper, and it's the quick and dirty version.
Quick and clean.
Gross. Okay. All right, here we go. Carol Danvers is a former Air Force pilot who now has otherworldly powers and works with the Kree Star Force on the planet Hala, and she has little memories of her past. She and her comrades are tasked with fighting the shape-shifting aliens known as Skrulls. During a mission, Carol escapes from the Skrulls and lands on Earth, where she is found by Nick Fury. With his help, she goes on a mission to find out about her past. Meanwhile, the Skrulls and their leader Talos arrive on Earth to find Carol. Carol's ordeal started when her superior, Dr. Wendy Lawson, took her on a mission to deliver an energy core to the Skrulls, as they are not villains, but alien refugees seeking a new home. Star Force's commander Jan Rog found Lawson, who was really a Kree renegade named Mar-Vell, and he killed her before going after the core. But Carol shot at it and absorbed its power before Jan Rog took her in to use as a weapon. After finding her old best friend Maria Rambeau, Carol is encouraged to help Talos and the Skrulls. Carol, Fury, Talos, and Maria find Mar-Vell's laboratory, which contains the Tesseract, which is the energy core's source. There, Talos reunites with his family as well. Star Force shows up and captures Carol, but she overpowers them and helps her friends escape while fighting her former allies. They are nearly taken out by Ronan the Accuser and his goons, but Carol obliterates most of the Kree before they can do any further harm. Jan Rog goes after her, but she quickly defeats him and sends him back to Hala with a warning to the other Kree. Carol takes it upon herself to help the Skrulls find a new home, but not before leaving Fury, who loses his left eye to Goose the cat, who's really an alien. He's an alien called a Flurgan, and Flurgan, basically in the Captain Marvel comics, Captain Marvel has this cat on her ship or something, and Chewie in the comics, Goose, lays like 100 or so eggs in Captain Marvel's ship. So she's like, I need to take this thing to the doctor. So she takes the cat to this Dr. Mohan, and this guy explains to her that Flurgans have access to these things called pocket dimensions. He's got like all these little dimensions inside of his own body. And that's why he can like swallow people and swallow all these things. And, like those tentacles that come out are like something he uses that's from another dimension that pulls. It's crazy. So
it's wild.
Yes,
it reminded me of Star-Lord's quote. And he's like, "Have you ever seen an Oscavarian? They have like tentacles for teeth." It reminded me of that.
What a nerdy joke! I love it. Right? What a nerdy joke. So Goose the cat has the Tesseract inside, and Carol also gives Fury a pager. Fury then decides to start the Avengers Initiative after seeing that Carol's call sign in the Air Force was Avenger.
Yeah.
And there's 2 post-credit scenes. In the first one is the Avengers. The remaining Avengers are there in the Avengers facility, and pager is in there, and the pager stops blinking. And they're like, what is this? What is this? Oh my gosh. I want to know what's on the other side of that pager. And boop, Carol's there. And she says, where's Fury? And then the second one is just Goose the cat hacking up the Tesseract on Nick Fury's desk. And that's it. That is Captain Marvel. Let's go ahead and move on. Before we just start fixing this thing, a lot of people work on a movie, especially these crazy Marvel movies. Thousands of people spend thousands of hours working on these movies. We're not here to poo-poo on it. What is something that you liked about this movie, Lady-Wan?
I liked a lot of things about this movie.
Well, what's one thing you liked about this movie, Lady-Wan?
Let's see. So I'm going to say one thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was Samuel L. Jackson's ability to be a character that we have known for 10 years, but be a completely lighter version of himself through the whole movie, not in a flashback scene, literally the whole movie. He's like younger and more relaxed, and just he hasn't seen the world almost end like 10 times yet.
He's being like younger, like non-jaded Nick Fury.
Right. He has not seen some shit just yet.
He's not over it all.
It was a really impressive performance when you look at it through that lens, that he still has to be Fury, but he has to be like a less terrifying, angry Fury. It was really impressive. I thought he did a fantastic job, and I was not at all distracted by whatever they did to his face.
Since you love this movie so much, lay another one on us.
I also really loved the end of the movie. Basically, I spent the last third of the movie with just like tears welling up in my eyes and then dripping down. Not crying, okay? Like my shoulders didn't shake. I didn't sniffle. I could breathe fine. But like just tears welling up and then slowly dripping down. But that moment at the end where she basically just threatens the accusers of like, okay, you need to leave now, otherwise I'm going to blow you up. And they say that they'll be back, but for the woman, not the weapon. I was like, she is so much more badass than anything else we've seen so far. And it just made me so happy that like her threat was recognized. The threat of her is enough. She doesn't have to destroy all of their ships. She just is going to tell them to leave, otherwise they're going to get it.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Right? Oh.
The woman. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That reminds me of The Hobbit, when Gandalf says to Bilbo, true courage is about knowing not when to take a life, but when to spare one.
Oh, it's so good.
Mustachio? Wait, do you want one more, Lady-Wan?
Oh, I could go on forever.
Right? Right?
Mustachio, what's something you liked about this movie?
Oh, I love so much about this movie.
You're like giddy right now. What are you doing?
Brie Larson
you're like,
brought it.
You're making me goofy smile because you're goofy smiling across from me, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
No, it's good. There's good vibes right now. I'm loving it.
God,
That movie's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
oh,
All right, so I also loved like the half glass full Samuel L. Jackson. Like he was so good, so good. And well, I didn't cry. Like I think I'm saving my tears for Endgame. Like it's all gonna come out. But no, like there's so much like in this movie, like military women. Like this is fucking great. Like finally, like these clear characters of intelligence and courage and positions of power and the knowledge of like the position that they're in, the times that they're in. I love this.
Ugh, love it. Love so many things about this movie.
Right?
I liked Maria Rambeau, played by Lashana Lynch, so much that I wanted her to be in this movie so much more. And her performance was definitely the emotional anchor of this movie. She was fantastic.
Yeah, she was great.
And her daughter, they were just they were great. Loved them.
Monica Rambeau,
Yeah, Monica was fantastic.
And I definitely was enjoying the 90s soundtrack that was going on during this thing. Those songs remind me of driving to high school. This movie takes place in 95, correct?
Yes, correct.
I was still riding the bus then.
I would have been dead in the middle of high school. I would have had my Discman, and I would have been pushing bass boost, and it would have had my electronic shock. What was that ESB thing too? The shock absorb. You know what I mean? Didn't they have that thing? Like they were marketing that with shock absorption. Yeah. I had my state-of-the-art Discman with shock absorption and bass
you could jog with it.
Now that all the niceties are out of the way, and we're not mean about our fixes, right? We're here to be constructive.
No, never.
We love movies. We liked this movie.
I love this movie.
Yes.
But you know what we do here?
Watch movies?
And
we fix them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Are you guys ready to fix Captain Marvel? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Are y'all ready for this?
Dun, 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 dun. All right, here we go. Lady-Wan, lay on us your first Captain Marvel fix.
All right, we just talked about the soundtrack to this movie.
Yeah.
It is stellar.
Yeah.
However, I have a slight problem.
What?
I do. The second time that Carol is meeting with the Supreme Intelligence, we get it queued up, and Nirvana's Come As You Are starts playing.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the audience. We see the record is playing. Annette Bening is awkwardly dancing to it, calling out that she's enjoying the music as a touch to the experience.
And it's on vinyl. Like,
right?
Vinyl?
Why?
Like, this is like the era of compact disc. Why is this on vinyl?
So, I get the choice. It's 1995, I get it. But Carol has been gone since 1989.
Yeah.
Carol was karaokeing Lita Ford. She was going to Guns N' Roses concerts. Mm-hmm. She might be dressed like, as Fury says, someone's disaffected niece, but she is an 80s lady. She is not a 90s grunge girl. She doesn't know this song. She's been on Earth for like 2 days, and I'm pretty sure Nirvana is like not in Fury's tape deck. He didn't have that in his Impala. Like, he's not ready to like play some grunge for her.
If she was taken in 89, that Nirvana album that has Come As You Are did not come out till 91. She would not even know that song.
Nope, she's never heard it as far as we've seen. And this is supposed to be a pivotal moment. She is in control of the audio and visual experience of the meeting with the Supreme Intelligence. And that's what we're getting. So in order to keep this song, we need her to know it, and we need to see that experience happen. So I think how I can fix this is when she shows up to the bar earlier in the movie that she has looked up on Alta Vista. During her ride to the bar, we get Garbage playing, and then she walks into the bar, and the same Garbage song is playing. I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity right in that moment that jukebox can be playing Come As You Are. And that's when she walks into the bar that she has spent so much time in, and she's watching memories of her life on Earth, playing the arcade game, sitting at the booth, singing karaoke. She's seeing her memories in flashes, and the song should be playing then.
Yeah.
Because that's when she was Carol. Not Veers, not a Kree, not anything else. That's when she was Carol. And so for her meeting with the Supreme Intelligence, we can call back that song, but it should be playing on the jukebox from the bar, not a random turntable.
Lady-Wan, I really like what you're saying here, because that song kind of represents how on the jukebox things have changed since she's been here last.
Yeah.
Things are still going on without her.
Right.
But yet she feels like missing like a part of it, but this is like a connection with the times that are now, and that song represents now.
Yeah, it also like represents her figuring out who she really is.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's so good.
She needed that connection. You're exactly spot on. And it would not be on vinyl.
No.
Fuck. What the hell? Come on.
Maybe a tape.
It should have been on a Discman with the shock absorption and the bass boost.
Yeah, at least like an old like Sony, receiver or something with those big knobs, for
Big knobs. I think you're thinking
I know, I just laughed at that phrase. I'm 12.
All right, Mustachio, I know you got a fix for us. Lay on us your first fix.
I needed something better, like with the scrolls.
Were they too Star Trek The Next Generation for you?
Right? I know that with the scrolls, they kind of want to do something different. They're supposed to be like really dark green. I wanted them to be more scroll-like. So in this one, when I see the scroll characters coming up out of the water, they look very Borg in color. So it looks kind of Star Trek-y. Like in the comic books, they're wearing purple suits. They are bright green. It looks very Goblin-esque. And they got some of that Goblin features, like the little science guy that they make fun of.
Oh, I love the science guy.
First of all, sometimes the funniest stuff in movies are situations with no words.
Yes.
And when they just pointed at him like you couldn't do that, science guy, and he just very silently like kind of concedes. Nah,
Shrug, head tilt.
That was like the funniest. I laughed the most at that.
It was so funny.
So yeah, I just needed them to be greener. Their wardrobe could have been more purple. It would have popped like it does in the comics.
All right, more green, more purple, more goblin-y.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought that would have served the story better.
Yeah.
Not that thing we got.
Not that weird, like, Borg queen kissing Data looking color to the That is just
to bring it
weird.
Star Trek full circle.
Oh my gosh, Mustachio, you are killing the nerd references today.
Sorry.
If you're not a super nerd, listeners, you're listening to the wrong thing.
Yeah, you're doing the wrong thing.
If you had a prom date, you're listening to the wrong thing.
Oh, good, I'm in the right place.
Yes.
Come on, guys. We don't need this prom. Let's go to my house. Let's put on pajamas and make pizza rolls. And then let's make vodka and Mountain Dew Code Red. And then let's watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended editions.
It's like you just, like, took my scroll form.
Anybody want to know what my first fix is?
Ooh, do you have a fix? I want to hear it.
The Kree are all about controlling her emotions, right? Because she's got these fire sticks on her fists, and they're constantly telling her, control your emotions. They even make a comment about how humor is bad. I remember he said that when they were fighting.
Yeah.
Everything is about controlling her emotions. And the Kree, they grabbed her from scratch. She had no idea who she was. And they're even like kind of placebo controlling her through the neck chip. I mean, they had carte blanche to turn her into an emotionless fighting machine for the Kree.
Yeah.
Yet when the movie starts, she's jokey, quippy, sarcastic, right out of the gate. The way I would have changed this is I would have had her be stoic from the beginning, because the Kree have made her this way. So when she lands on Earth, maybe her stoicness is actually a fun interplay with her and Sam Jackson's laid-back, now not jaded attitude. Nick Fury, they start to break down some barriers there, and only after she realizes that she is a human being and she meets up with Maria Rambeau and her daughter does she finally begin to let Carol come out. I even want a scene maybe where Maria Rambeau's daughter Monica even gets mad at her. I used to love you. I used to call you auntie, just like mad at her for...
Remember?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Just getting angry, throwing something at her, something storming off. And Carol is shocked by this, and now she wants to remember through this interaction with Maria and the daughter. She starts to regain her human self and her human personality and that sense of sarcasm and that cheekiness that she was displaying throughout the whole movie. But I think that sarcasm and that cheekiness and that humor should come later when she's letting the human come out, when she's like realizing that the Kree have made her into this emotionless machine that that she is. I think that it would have given her more of a character arc. I mean, throughout the movie, she's basically the same person, just with like a memory issue.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a good fix for her character.
That's good. That is good.
Thanks, Mustachio. If only we could get you to control your emotions.
Right.
I just need to find out if there's a prescription for one of those Cree chips, because I would like to like dial down my emotions a little bit too. I don't know if it's covered by my HSA.
Your HSA.
We got a question. Lady-Wan, do you have another fix for us?
I do.
Lay it on us.
So we know that Jan Rog and Minerva know about the crash, what happened to Carol, that she was part of that marvelous explosion, whatever you want to call it.
Marvelous.
They saw that happen. Jan Rog takes her back because he knows that she's valuable. She's got the core energy within her. They need her. They're going to make her a weapon. They're going to use her as part of the Kree Star Force. But, like, does everyone on the Kree Star Force know about what happened? It's really not clear to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when they have their battle in Marvel's lab at the end, she is fighting against every member of the Kree Star Force, every member that she has been serving with ostensibly for the last 6 years, as far as we know.
Yeah.
So I would have liked it to be more clear who on the Star Force knows what happened and who maybe is not aware of her backstory.
Yeah.
When she meets with the Supreme Leader that second time, they're watching her as she's like tied up in, you know, whatever, like liquidy snakes, whatever that stuff is that they use.
Oh,
I don't know what it was, but they're watching her as she's having her confrontation with the Supreme Intelligence, and she's about to bust out of that stuff. And I would have liked if the rest of the members of Star Force don't know about where Veers came from and what happened and what Marvel was trying to do. And they can find out through this interaction that she's having with the Supreme Intelligence. And maybe one of the members of the Star Force is on her side, that they realize this war isn't right. We're on the wrong side of it. I'm with her, and I want to fight against you guys. And immediately, they can be dispatched by our Star Force. Take them out right away. Because if you're not with the Kree, you're against them. And they are ruthless.
yeah. Showing their ruthlessness even to their own kind.
To their own member. So I feel like that would make that fight seem more dramatic instead of it being like her against the rest of the... Is it 5? Are there 5 of them?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Beard, Blue.
Beard, Blue, Jaimin Hansu, Minerva, and Jude Law. Okay. There's 5 of them. Those are their names.
Beard. I like Beard.
So I want Blue to be on her side. I liked him.
Why is Jan Rog the only one not blue?
I don't know, because Annette Bening's not blue either.
Is it because Jude Law's just too damn handsome to make blue?
They just gave him crazy contacts.
They did. They just gave him crazy yellow contacts.
Yeah, I think that would have made that fight more dramatic if they, like, take out a member of the Star Force immediately. Like, no, you can't be on that side. And then that battle, the stakes are a little bit higher. She's watched them kill one of their own. They're after her. And that would make that fight a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, how much does that crew know about the Skrull invasion? Or
Right?
Are they also brainwashed and lied to?
Yeah, I want to know more about the Star Force.
That's good.
It makes the Kree treachery and lies run deep.
Mustachio, what's your second fix?
I got to know about Ben Mendelsohn's captain character.
Talos.
No, the captain, the shield guy. Who is this captain character? Where is the body if he's dead? Should we care about him? That was not clear cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Nick Fury worried about him?
I know.
At all?
You never see the moment where the Skrull takes over for the boss.
In the archives, that's like a bad dream. Your boss kicking your ass? That would suck. Sorry. I had to.
Wait, isn't your boss your dad?
Yes, I work in a family business.
A lot of layers to this
I am
one.
not talking about me. I am generalizing for the American public.
Would you like to lay down on the studio couch here?
Okay, so I'm just generalizing for
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, so we never see this boss character at all.
Keller.
Or we never see Keller at all. So
Yeah.
how would you fix that, Mustachio?
I want there to be a scene where, oh, he's tied up and he's safe somewhere, kind of like in a comic book.
I would have loved to have seen a scene where Ben Mendelsohn gets to act opposite of himself, where he's both the Skrull version of himself and himself.
Yeah.
And maybe later it would have been awesome to have him as a character along on the adventure too, or involved in some way where Ben Mendelsohn gets to look and be Ben Mendelsohn, but not the Skrull version, but the real version. It's like the Marvel version of adaptation. Any opportunity to see Ben Mendelsohn as a good guy is a good thing, because Ben Mendelsohn only plays...
He's just always like a mid-level bad guy in a suit, answering to somebody else.
He is Hollywood's go-to asshole suited bad guy.
Right? We definitely need this scene, because otherwise, as soon as I saw him step up to the Blockbuster, I was like, bad guy. That's Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah. He's always a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I assumed that Captain was a bad guy even before I knew he was a Skrull. I was like, I don't trust him because that's Ben Mendelsohn. Like, we need to know that guy was a good guy. We need to know.
It's not clear. It's not clear cut.
Ben Mendelsohn cannot be trusted.
JC, you got another fix for us?
You know I do.
You better.
So this might change the whole movie. But...
No, the whole movie?
A bit, yes. I usually want to steer clear of tropes, but in this case, I wanted the movie to follow a trope, but do it well. I wanted to skip all of the space action that happened in the very beginning of this movie, and I wanted the movie to start with her falling into the Blockbuster.
Ooh.
And not knowing who she is, and her having complete amnesia. So I want it to be a story about her not knowing who to trust at all, right? And trying to figure out who she is and learn who she is. And meanwhile, she's being pursued by Skrulls, the Kree, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Surfer killers.
Surfer killer Skrulls, which, by the way, was my favorite thing. When those Skrulls became the surfer dudes... I loved it. I was like, okay, this is really fun.
You were on board?
I was like, okay, this is really, really fun. I would have liked a real amnesia story. And she doesn't know who to trust. She's being tracked by all these people. And in the end, actually, the person who gets to her is none other than Maria Rambeau, who recognizes her from like a news story, or maybe she's even now working for law enforcement as like a helicopter pilot. Ooh. For some reason, she's able to recognize that this is the person that she knows. At the end of like Act 1, it's Maria Rambeau that is the one who wins this race to get to her. Act 2 is her with Maria Rambeau and the daughter, realizing who she is. Act 3 is all of the space stuff and the whole climax between all of the different forces that are working with her and against her. I would have loved scenes where she does not know who she is, but she's being treated like quote-unquote little lady in either a bar or who knows. There's these kind of like amnesia, super-powered person stories, kind of like Universal Soldier. There's so much that you can do with somebody who doesn't know who they are, is super-powered, and people misunderstanding them as like a freak.
Yeah.
In this story, we knew too much already. We knew she was a member of Star Force. We knew she didn't know who she was. When she landed to Earth, it was probably going to be a bit, okay, she's probably going to be from here. Also, if you watch Marvel movies and you watch Marvel TV shows, you already know the Kree are bad. So there's just like, there's a lot we already know. And that is my second fix.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, I guess without further ado, we should consider this movie Screen Fix. Where we're gonna fix it. Do you have any final thought, Lady-Wan? Do you have any final thought?
Can I have two?
You may.
Okay. I thought of this one during your last fix. I love the line so much when Fury is talking to her for the first time, and he's like, I want to give you the 411 on the late night drop-off box.
Yes!
That line is so funny.
That's good. Is it just me, or did no one in your crowd react to that?
Yeah, I think that's why I missed it the first time. The second time, I was kicking my feet. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, nobody in my audience either reacted to that.
That was hilarious.
Because I know all about the late night Dropbox. I also know that when you go into Blockbuster and the movie that you want is not on the shelf, you can go up to the counter and be like, hey, did anybody drop this off? Please check the drop-off box. And if it's in there, bam.
All right, my second final thought. I stole this from a little girl.
What?
There's a little girl sitting in front of me in the theater. After the whole thing finished, post-credit, all the way done, lights are up, everyone's leaving. This little girl, she was probably like 9 or 10 years old. She gets up, she's sitting in the row in front of me, and she turns to her dad and she goes, what if it had just been a hairball at the end? I love this little screaming child.
Yes.
Proposing that we all sit there. Millions of people around the world are all just going to sit there and we're going to watch a cat hawk up a hairball instead of it actually being the Tesseract.
Oh, man.
Like that, how funny would that have been? I love it. It made me think of the Spider-Man Homecoming post-credit scene with Captain America talking about patience.
Hi, I'm Captain America. Here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have. Patience. Sometimes patience is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
I thought it would have been a nice, hilarious twist with the post-credit scene, and I appreciated hearing future screen fixers.
It would have been just as good.
Just...
Right?
Mustachio, you got a final thought?
All right, so the Samuel L. Jackson bailing on the car with the bloody body in it had just shades of Pulp Fiction written all over it. He had to throw a blanket over his newly changed Clark Gregg partner.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I just thought of like a Tarantino immediately, but
they should have had him talk about scraping up bits of scroll. That would have been a hilarious Pulp Fiction reference.
It's awesome. Any final thought, JC?
Okay, remember, you guys love this movie. I thought it was okay.
I love this movie.
Some of my problems with it is like Top Gun. They're all shirtless, bro-y douchebags. Right, and they say stuff like, I got the need for speed. And they say cheesy, stupid lines because they're douchey bros, right?
Uh-huh.
Affirmative.
I was cringing at the douchey bro lines that were in this movie.
No.
Yes, so stuff like,
don't.
Where's your head? In the clouds? Higher, further, faster, baby. Click. I'm like, oh my God, they've turned them into Top Gun.
Nope.
Douche bros.
I loved it.
Where's your head at?
In the clouds. Where's yours?
On my shoulders. About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Higher, further, faster, baby.
That's right.
They've made them into late 80s bros.
I mean, it was 1989.
Well, I mean, are they trying to say that fighter pilots have like a code of speak?
Code of bro speak? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Lady-Wan, why don't you send us home?
If you'd like to reach us here at the show, you can send an email to screenfixpod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram or Twitter @ScreenFixPod, and you can search for the show on Facebook for Screenfix Podcasts. You can listen on Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Libsyn, and of course, Apple Podcasts. And if you're enjoying the show, please rate, review, and subscribe, and maybe tell a friend about it.
We also have a Patreon account where you can donate to the show. We've got different tiers. Check them out. We have dreams of opening a one-screen movie theater to be the home of podcasting and film festivals and marathons and all kinds of great stuff like that. All right, let's leave him with a recreation of a scene in the movie. You start us out, Mustachio. Go.
And you say something like that again, and I'll put my foot where it doesn't belong. Am I supposed to know where that is?
Your ass. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I saw The Punisher on prom night. I did. I fucking saw The Punisher on prom night. And then I went to Walmart afterwards and bought chips.
Oh my God. I just found the stinger for this episode.